This is Providence Television International, the game changer.
Welcome to the newspaper analysis on Providence Television International. I am Ugbebo Ikekwa. We meet to analyze the papers today. He's the Chief Executive Officer, Providence Television International, Dr. Emmanuel Legariba. You're welcome.
Well, thank you very much. I've been out for quite some time and a lot of travels these days. But I'm happy to be back. In between, I've had calls from some of our friends. I want to thank them very much. I want to thank Sunday Okpame. He lives somewhere in Benin, I think Upper Sakumba area. Okay. And he says the day he stumbled across the station, it was akin to the day he married his wife. Oh, lovely, lovely comments, really. Sunday Okpame, I thank you very much indeed. Yinka Olorunfemi from Seattle, Washington, we thank you very much for your comments. Daniel Okechukwu from Madrid, back in Spain. These are just some of the many letters we received, but I thought I should just mention them because they were particularly close to my heart. Now, for today, before we go into the papers, really, Nigerians will not remember this. I think today is a very special day in the history of this country. On this day, May 22nd, 1973, that was about 52 years ago, the National Youth Service Corps was established. That's the logo out there. It was established, and the theme really is service and humility. It has remained the same. It was established in 1973 by General Yakubu Gowon, his administration. Yes, that's Gowon out there. He was the one that established the scheme back in 1973, and it was to foster peace. If we can have pictures, can we have a picture of the Yokopas? Yes. To foster peace, unity, and development. You could see these coppers raising up their caps in salute to our nation. But having said all of this, what is the state of the National Youth Service today? I can tell you clearly that the allure is gone. For example, many people are not too willing. Many of our young boys and girls, they are not too willing any longer to go elsewhere outside their vicinity. And I remember when it started, I had some friends then who now told me in later years. One, in fact, was from Ogun State. Said he was very happy when he was asked to go to Sokoto, for instance. And his experience was, as he traveled along, he saw the differences in vegetation. One even went to Maiduguri, and as he moved into the Maiduguri area, he could see the changes. He would now see huts, small huts. He would now see monkeys and guinea fowls on the streets, on the roads, and shrubs. In other words, they were going into the savannah. And it was very good for them, for their experience. And others from the north wanted to go to either Oshogbo or Ilorin or whatever. It was a mixed grill, and they were very happy. Boys and girls, they were particularly happy. They wanted to travel outside their normal jurisdiction. But today, the situation is different. If you ask the boy now, and they are getting younger, by the way. In those days, they were in their late 20s, probably. Yeah. But now you are having kids of about 19. Yes, who are going on youth service, 19, 20. Exactly. I mean, my boy, for instance, the last boy, went to youth service at the age of 21, or thereabout. So, but what we are saying is that many of them, were they unwilling? They are unwilling because a lot of lives have been lost. Okay. Innocent lives of coppers, either through kidnapping or through banditry or through election violence. Many of them have been deployed over time to election centers, and they were killed, unfortunately. Yes. And a lot of parents are saying that the youth service thing has lost its allure and glory, and therefore it should be cancelled outright. But government is saying, no, let's continue with it. It's quite debatable anyway. But the sum total of what I'm saying is that we must give the scheme a new face and a new orientation. If we can do away with banditry and all sort of things, then our boys and girls will be more willing to go elsewhere. So, back to the papers.
All right, well, back to the papers. We will be starting off with the Vanguard newspapers, where we have politicians soldiers among Boko Haram informants. This is coming from Borno State Governor, Professor Babagana Zulum.
Zulum is not a man you can ignore. He's a professor.
Yes.
Oh, you know that. He's a professor, he's the governor of Borno State. He's been crying. It's not the first time, well, maybe it's the first time he's revealing this kind of thing, but he's been crying. I mean, the gentleman has been crying all along that the federal government should come to his aid. As many as 7 or 8 local governments have been taken out, for instance. And that's not too good for a sovereign state, for example. And I hope that, yes, there will be more viable action. As a matter of fact, you know, the Chief of Defense Staff said it the other day, that our borders are porous. And
Definitely,
these guys from the Sahel region, they move into the country without any surveillance.
That's true.
Yes. And what I've always said on this program is that we need a lot of intelligence work, for example. It's not after they've done all kinds of damage that we now attack them. No, but we must look at it from the point of view of the fact that intelligence is the thing that keeps them away. If you monitor and protect our borders very well before they come in, there won't be any problem. And, you know, these guys, they look like our brothers and sisters in the north. When they come from either Niger or Chad, they look like their brothers, you know, either from Katsina or Sokoto. There's no difference. The physique is the same, the religion is the same, the language probably is the same, they speak Hausa language. So we have a problem. And for Zulum to have cried out, it means that, and to have even revealed that there are moles in the system, it means that we have a huge problem on our hands.
Very, very indicting statement.
Yes.
The most, for the politicians, well, we've had cases of politicians that have been known to have sponsored Boko Haram. Nothing has happened to them.
Nothing has happened to them, and in fact, you remember that they even turbaned some of them.
Yes, very true.
We've seen that, and who are the culprits? No culprits. Even when you get the kidnappers, the kidnappers are sponsored by people behind the scene. Now, who are those people? Okay, and we understand that there's a big business now. Look at all the ransoms that have been being collected from Nigerians, innocent Nigerians, running into billions. Okay, so but I thank God that Zulum, who is a state governor, has said that very clearly, that we must look inwards. There are politicians who are aiding and abetting these people.
Exactly.
That's what he has said. Yes.
And to complicate matters, soldiers are among Boko Haram informants. There was a case, I think about 2-3 years ago, when there was a kind of mutiny, when some soldiers discovered that even their own boss had alerted, and they were ambushed.
Yes, there was a mutiny.
Yes.
And that is dangerous for the security of this country. When soldiers are beginning to think that way, then something basically is wrong. I mean, we don't want to talk about it really, but it went viral. Some soldiers tied hands and legs and stuff like that. Our own soldiers who are laying down their lives, being wasted. It's not good enough for the psyche of Nigerians. It's not even good for the psyche of the military personnel who are on the front line. So, and I think this is a clear call for the federal government to tackle this issue head on. Yes. We just talked about National Youth Service. I mean, if you're a parent, for instance, and they post your child to Maiduguri, you will think twice. Yeah, we just talked about that, all because of insecurity.
Exactly. We'll tie the story from the Vanguard to that of the Punch newspapers, where we have terror threats. Senate, Zulum demand swift action from Tinubu, just like what you just said.
Exactly. I haven't even read that. I mean, that's a screaming headline. Senate Zulum demands swift action from Tinubu. And in any case, the Senate is populated, more in number, by APC.
Exactly.
Yes. So the thing has come to a head. And I believe that, yes, as the Commander-in-Chief, President Tinubu has the ball in his court. Yes, something really, really has to be done so that we can move out of this scourge.
Let us take a look at the riders. We have Boko Haram better equipped than army. This is coming from the Borno State Governor. Foreign terrorists infiltrating Nigeria, and president, this is coming from the Senate anyway, and president should listen to army, not politicians.
Exactly. Exactly. Again, Zulum and the Senate should listen to the security forces rather than politicians. Politicians will always want to tell the president what he wants to hear. But the facts are there on ground from the military personnel, from the military high command, for instance. And believe it or not, billions have been spent in all of this exercise. Obasanjo has spoken about it, for instance, loud and clear, that what has happened to the billions that we have spent on security? No answer. Many questions.
Exactly.
Few answers. And I'm happy now that the Senate has raised an issue. Zulum has raised an issue. In fact, in the case of Zulum, I pity the man, really. I mean, because he's the chief executive of the state. But his hands are tied. Because he doesn't control the police, he doesn't control the armed forces. But he's crying out to the presidency that, look, something must be done. I mean, the state is being overrun on a daily basis. So he has every reason to curry the sympathy of all Nigerians. Yes.
Well, we'll move a little bit away from Nigeria. There is nobody who doesn't know about what's going on in Gaza. And yes, world leaders, organizations are crying out. On the front page of the New Telegraph, Israel using hunger as a weapon of war, says UK Prime Minister.
Well, first of all, we must realize, I mean, it's against the rule of international relations and warfare. For instance, you cannot use hunger as a weapon. Okay, but Netanyahu, I think, he's just gone crazy. I mean, this gentleman, did I call him gentleman? He's just gone crazy. He's gone around the bend, to put it very mildly. And you remember, just a few days ago, the Pope, the Pontiff, yes, told him plainly that he should not use hunger as a weapon. I mean, people are just dying in Gaza Strip, and you just want to eliminate these people for no reason whatsoever. For no reason. People have talked about a two-state solution. He has abandoned that completely.
Definitely, yes.
And he has gone on his own forays to eliminate citizens of the world.
Can this be seen as genocide?
Well, it could be genocide. I mean, if it's worse than this, it becomes genocide. Okay, but he doesn't care anyway. He doesn't care a hoot about what he's doing. Maybe, perhaps, he has the backing of the United States. But this is a clarion call to Trump that, no, he shouldn't support this kind of thing.
Exactly.
He should not.
Yes.
Because, as you said, it could lead to genocide. And that will backfire into so many things. Obviously, there will be a backlash. I mean, the people, the Palestinians, will not just hold their hands and be looking. But yes, world leaders are very bitter about this. But the United Nations is even to blame because they have become a toothless bulldog.
I was about to come there.
Yes,
then you had the United
bulldog.
Exactly.
Yes. It's by the way, the United Nations is the government of the whole world.
Yes.
You better know that. It's the government of the whole world. But it has become a toothless bulldog. I mean, many times the Israeli Prime Minister has gone to the United Nations in New York to shout down at members. Or because he has the backing of one or two countries somewhere. But I think that this coming from the UK. UK is an ally of the United States.
Exactly.
A frontline member of NATO. Okay? So they are against what Netanyahu is doing. And I think that is leading us in the right direction.
I like that statement you made. Netanyahu just seems over the years to have gone.
It's gone around the bend.
Gone around the bend. And one wonders, is this a personal vendetta now? Because I don't really get it. But then, talking about the UN, let us leave the UN a little bit out of it. Let me go back to the Vatican. I was going through the Vatican news, and there was an article there that the world has turned its back on Gaza.
Because Netanyahu is untouchable. Netanyahu is untouchable. It's a world power. It's a nuclear world power. But there are many world powers that have nuclear armaments. Iran is one of them. Okay. North Korea, Russia, we can mention them. So let it not be a situation that will lead us into another world war. That's what I'm afraid of as a person, as a student of international relations. And I also think that the United Nations should bite. They should bite and bite hard. I mean, there can be, Israel can be put on the spot. What's wrong with that? And a lot of nations have gone through that. There can be sanctions against Israel.
Yes.
Yes, why not? And forget about what the United States is to Israel. I mean, Israel is a nation state, but it's also a member of the United Nations. Yes.
Well, this takes us, we'll come down now to Nigeria, where on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune, we have forget defections. It will be hungry Nigerians against APC in 2027. This is coming from Makinde.
What's the meaning of that? It means that defection or no defection, it is the people. They have the right to decide who they want to vote for in 2027. Okay? Yes, he has the right to say that as a governor. He remains in PDP, by the way.
Yes.
And I know that there have been movements all over the place, talking about coalition and all sort of things. People are moving. I mean, one of the newspapers said just a couple of days ago, there are two things why people are moving towards the ruling party. Many of them have been guaranteed return tickets.
Yes.
Automatic tickets, so to speak. And then contracts or whatever it is. I mean, we didn't go into all of that. But Makinde has made a very profound statement. Hunger. He didn't talk about security or insecurity. He talked about hunger. And obviously, Nigerians are hungry. Let's not pretend about it. Nigerians are hungry. There is no household in this country now that is not feeling the effect of what is happening. There's none. Okay? So everybody is being touched. Even those people in the National Assembly, they have dependents. They have scores and scores of dependents. So it is also touching their pockets. So everybody is feeling the impact. Housewives will tell you, look, the housekeeping allowance you are giving me, the housewife will tell the husband, it is not enough. For any right-thinking man, he would know that, yes, this woman is saying the truth, all right, even if he doesn't go to the market. But it's the truth, because the indices are there for everybody to see. Yes.
The indices are there for everybody to see. We have the likes of Cardoso and Edun telling us that the economy is getting balanced, is improving.
Well, some kind of fantasia. Fantasia. I mean, when you, in my days in government, you talk about things that will soothe the nerves of government. But sometimes you also tell the guy in power that things are not going the right way. And I think they have the duty to tell Nigerians that, look, I mean, that's the essence of leadership. Yes, I have said it many times. There should be no encumbrance. No. Say the truth. The Bible says, say the truth, and the truth shall set you free. But in this country, we live on subterfuge, for example, and that's not good for the mindset of majority of Nigerians.
All right. Before we go to the next paper, because we just talked about defections, we're gradually going to a one-party state. And do you think that that there's any positivity that can come from a one-party state in Nigeria?
A lot of things go with a one-party state. First of all, you must eliminate corruption. Absolutely. Absolutely. Look at China, for instance. Once you commit an offense, it's a one-party state, by the way. Once you commit an offense, you are a visitor to the hangman. Yes. It takes a lot of discipline. Yes. And one-party states are not too many around the world. It doesn't mean for the beauty of democracy, because there must be opposition. Okay. The opposition cannot work effectively within a one-party state. That's the problem. But I'm happy the Public Secretary of APC said the other day on our program, What's Trending, that they are not thinking of a one-party state. All right. But a lot of people are moving. They are gravitating towards the ruling party, and there must be reasons for it. Yes.
Well, we'll talk about those reasons maybe in our subsequent issues, one of our programs. But then let us now move down to the Guardian newspapers, where we have why I didn't yield to calls for resignation. This is coming from the JAMB registrar.
After the glitch.
Yes.
After the glitch, a responsible person will resign. After that major disaster. You remember what Abaribe said? Yes, that it is, I can't put it exactly the way he put it now, but he said it's a minus for our national pride or something of that nature. And something like that. And a lot of students are affected.
Seriously affected.
It's their future, it's their careers that have been affected. And the man who is in charge has refused to resign. You see, this is the problem. This is the problem in Africa. Once you commit that kind of thing, the best way out is for you to put in the papers. That shows you as a hero. But right now, what do we see? In elections, you talk about glitches. Okay? And the glitches we had in elections, they are coming into exams now. Yes, for our children.
Exactly.
So are we a nation of glitches? That's the question we should be asking. Yes. Although some have said, oh, human error and all that stuff. But I believe that somebody was in charge. And he should own up to responsibility.
That
Yes.
glitch actually led to one of the students having to commit
Yes.
suicide.
Suicide.
Suicide, yes,
Yes.
exactly. And that alone, I think, should have led to his resignation. But
Of course, you
this
didn't.
sits
You
tight
didn't have
issue.
to wait for anybody to tell you that.
Exactly. You
You
failed in
didn't
your
have to.
responsibility.
Your responsibility went down the drain, so you put
Exactly.
in the papers
Hmm.
for resignation. Yes.
Well, let us hope a time comes in Nigeria where we'll have that mindset.
Oh well, I don't know.
And then this is quite an issue that I am interested in the front page of the Daily Times. You see, these days nobody cares about the health of the other person, especially the vendors. Well, whatever junk they can put together, that's what they throw at us, the consumers. Let us look at the Daily Times. NAFDAC, FCCPC, others urged to halt chemical ripening of fruits.
The first question I want to ask is: NAFDAC still exists? Because during the time of Akunyili,
Yeah.
this kind of thing will not happen.
At all.
The woman was on top of her game.
Game. Mm.
Yes. If you ask people now who is the DJ of NAFDAC, they will not know.
Seriously speaking,
Yes.
yes.
We are not talking sentiments. It's a fact.
Mm.
Now, ripening of fruit. If you watch, go down the street, all over the country, all these people, they call them aboki or whatever. They even use water from the drains
That's very.
to wash fruits that human beings consume. And this is a major public health issue, for goodness sake, major public health issue. Yeah, if you look at, I don't buy things from them, yes, because of the after effect.
After effects, exactly.
Yes, and a lot of people should do that. Don't buy from them. I have seen it with my eyes. They go into the drains and they scoop water to wash fruits, sugarcane and all sort of things.
And they know exactly what they are doing, because when you tell them, when they get caught, you tell them, you take this fruit that you
They won't
washed.
take it.
They wouldn't.
They won't.
And so they have the intention to poison.
Yeah, it's a big lapse on the part of NAFDAC. Where are their officers? They should go round. They should go round. And pineapples and things like that, they ripen, losing their natural colors.
Yes.
From there, you will know. I mean, I advise that people, if you want to buy fruits, go to the marketplace or go to the supermarket. You are surer.
Yeah.
But when you go to these vendors who carry wheelbarrows or whatever it is pure danger. And it's a public health issue.
Exactly.
Serious public health issue. And the state government, federal government must collaborate to be sure that Nigerians do not fall victim.
Well, on this note, I want to say thank you so much. My boss just talked about health issues, as especially regards these vendors. There are so many of them. If you remember the other time where we talked about all these agbo sellers, yes, and all of them. We
That's
actually did a
another
report.
scourge.
Yeah, that's
That's another scourge.
serious scourge.
And they come from, in hordes, they come from, I don't want to mention the state, but they
Yeah.
come from a particular state,
Exactly.
around the middle belt. They just emptied into Benin and all over the place. And they are selling this. Look, I have a neighbor very close to my house. Or neighbors now. They wake up at about 3 a.m. pounding things.
Yes.
Just pounding, disturbing the
Concussion.
entire neighborhood. Concussions, putting all sorts of things. And people drink them.
They have a ready market for it.
Oh yeah, there's a ready market out of poverty. They cannot go to the pharmacy to buy drugs. Or this one will cure malaria. Who has told you that this one will cure malaria? For goodness sake.
And there are no
You
dosages.
know. And some people buy it for penile
Yeah.
dysfunction.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, erectile
Yes,
dysfunction. I mean, and all sorts of things. All kinds of nonsense. They tell you. Oh, and it's a cure-all.
Yeah.
This thing they say is a cure-all. It will cure malaria. It will cure arthritis. It will cure tuberculosis and all sorts of things. Cure-all.
Exactly.
Okay, and you see these young ladies going about the place with glee.
Yes.
Another big public health issue. Yes, there's a ready, as rightly said, there's a ready market. Go to mechanic workshop, you see them.
Well,
Mechanics, they will drink all sorts of things.
exactly.
And with joy.
With joy, yes.
And that is why the cases of liver problems are going on the rise. An average medical doctor will tell you. Yes, liver problems are on the increase in this country, and there are reasons for it.
Very, very true.
Yes.
Well, Providence Television International being the game changer, we're going to discuss this topic. We'll have experts in the studio to come discuss these public health issues. But as usual, the CEO has a parting shot.
My hearts go out to the victims of kidnapping and banditry in Borno State. Borno State is a part of Nigeria at the northern fringes. Let the federal government go to their aid. Let us help our military. You know, it pains me to the marrow. Yes, our military personnel are there. We should get them the right ammunition, we should get them the right environment to fight this scourge. We shouldn't be losing our military personnel unnecessarily. We shouldn't. And I think Nigeria has the capacity and the capability to address this issue if we are serious. That's my take.
All right, thank you so much. Well, for our viewer out there, thank you so much. Please remember to tell your friends and family about Providence Television International. Thanks for watching. Please stay tuned.